The next day, all four of us went to work in a good mood. Throughout the morning, Baron kept referring to yesterday's event. I don't mind. To me, this may have been a fleeting event, but for them, defeating a hated enemy was an accomplishment. In the middle of my lunch break, I suddenly received a text message. The messenger arranged to meet me at a coffee shop quite close to my company. He threatened me that he had investigated information about me. If I didn't come to see him, he would find a way to disadvantage me. It was mad. I wonder why I keep getting threatened and asked out by strangers all day. I feel annoyed, but I don't dare to take the risk. He said he had investigated information about me, although I believe I did not reveal any loopholes that I am a man, but prevention is better than cure. It didn't take long for me to arrive at the meeting point. The person who made an appointment to meet me was a tall, handsome guy, not inferior to Dustin. He put his hand out in front of me with a gentle face. I also politely greeted him back and shook his hand. He began to say,
"Hello, Miss Banks. Sorry about this unexpected. I'm Hunter, studying the same course as Dustin, your boyfriend."
I nodded to confirm. Turns out this guy is Hunter we bumped into in the game last night. From the way he addressed me, it seemed like he still didn't know I was a man. But I wonder what he asked to see me for. Hunter glanced at the watch on his hand and then said to me,
"I believe our time is not too much, so I will go straight to the point. You must know that I am currently the director of Subversion Corporation. Through my investigation, I learned that you had only joined Heroic Corporation for about a month or so. Before, you were just an intern, and now, you are just a small employee of that company. Would you consider joining our Subversion Corporation? I take your potential very seriously. If you agree to join Subversion, I guarantee to give you many times more benefits and importance than Heroic Corporation. Dustin is currently not in charge of Heroic, but I have full control over everything related to Subversion."
After saying that, Hunter hoped to see my expectant face that he expected from me, but he was wrong. I was not at all interested in his suggestion. The condition he offered was extremely attractive, would be a huge step in anyone's career. But even so, I wouldn't hesitate to refuse. Simply because I owe Dustin, everything I have right now is from him. I am not a selfish person to join Dustin's rival company for personal gain. Besides, I don't consider myself a genius. Only I know I have a long way to go. And I myself will walk every step of the way on my own path to success. I politely declined. Thank you for taking me seriously. But I'm still happy right now and don't want to change. Hunter impatiently said.
You should think carefully before making a decision. Heroic Corporation will soon become history. Dustin soon will be like a defeated loser with no place to belong. What do you insist on following a failed guy?
I jumped up from my chair and said. Sorry, I can't talk to you. Dustin was once a close friend to you after all. Insulting someone who was once your best friend is nothing to be proud of. I turned and walked out of the coffee shop without hesitation. Hunter said loudly.
Who is the best friend of that loser? Then you will regret your stupid choice today.
I just saw his words as the wind in my ears. Although I am not his real girlfriend, but I am very grateful to Dustin, I will not listen to any insults to him. As I was leaving the coffee shop, I passed a very beautiful girl. It seemed that she looked up at me, but I didn't pay much attention at the time. At the coffee shop after I left.
The beautiful girl earlier walked over to Hunter, who was burning with anger. She said,
"Looking at your attitude, it doesn't seem to work out, does it?"
"That's right, she's Vi, Hunter's current girlfriend." Hunter said angrily.
That stupid girl. She doesn't know the difference between good and bad.
Vi smiled and said to Hunter,
"Calm down. I have a discovery that might ease some of your anger."
Hunter calmed down a bit.
What happened?
Vi replied,
"Banks is not a girl. There's no real proof, but just now when I walked past her face, my intuition clearly sensed that she wasn't a girl.
Hunter seems to have calmed down a lot.
You mean Dustin is so poor that he chose a man disguised as a woman to deal with us?
Vi replied.
No, maybe Dustin really has feelings for her. During last night's game, he repeatedly turned his attention to Banks.
Vi is indeed a person possessing extremely strong intuition. Even in the game, she can still feel Dustin's movements. Hunter smiled sinisterly.
No matter what, this will be important information to drag Heroic Corporation into the mud. Now that we suspect she's not a woman, it should be easy to find proof.
I returned to the company and it was close to working time. I do not reveal my visit to Hunter to anyone, to avoid creating negative emotions for them. However, that afternoon, a strange unease arose within me. As soon as I got off work, I was ordered to summon the director's office. I think Dustin called me on urgent business, so I didn't think much of it and went to the director's room. However, when I opened the door to the director's room, I realized that there was no Dustin in the room, but only one person sitting in the chair. This must be the person with the most power in this company, also the father of Dustin. After waiting for me to settle down in my seat in the room, he said,
I believe you know who I am, Ms. Banks. No, I must say, Mr. Banks.
After hearing the director's words, I was startled. I am sure that besides Dustin and Tiffany, no one knows that I am a man, including Dustin's family. Why ye say that? The director continued to say,
I am the largest shareholder of Heroic Corporation, also Dustin's father. From a source, I know that you are an extremely talented programmer of this company. Under normal circumstance, I would be happy to know that my company has such a talent. But not now. Tell me why you disguised as a woman and approached my son? Don't hide anything. I believe I have the ability to force you to tell the truth.
At this point, I know I can't hide it even if I want to. I brought the whole story from the time I knew Dustin until now, and narrated it in detail and clearly. After listening, Dustin's father nodded.
I have roughly understood the problem. Although this trouble was caused by my son, not your fault. But the fact that you were not a woman was revealed. Not to mention, you were also involved in a relationship with my son. This will create a scandal for this company. With a large corporation like Heroic, every scandal big or small will have a heavy impact on the company. While this news has not been widely spread, I ask you to leave this company and stay away from my son. Of course, that contract I will personally handle, also compensate you a sum of money, and actively conceal information. Make sure that after you return to your previous life, you can still easily find a job thanks to your programming skills. Do you accept it?
My heart is a mess right now, I don't know what to do right now. Dustin's father also very patiently waited for my answer. After thinking it through, I let out a long sigh. Dustin is a savior of mine, Heroic Corporation is like my refuge, I can't because of my story that is detrimental to Dustin. I also cannot destroy the workplace of two lovely friends Baron and Curtis. Not to mention, Dustin and I are not a real couple, now that contract has been released by Dustin's father. What else do I have to worry about? In the future, I will find a way to repay Dustin when I have enough capacity. I said. Yes, I agree with your request. I'll be right back and move out. Dustin's father nodded, allowing me to leave this room. After I left, Dustin's father looked up to the sky and sighed.
Oh, what a difficult decision. If only you were a girl, I would have a good daughter-in-law, both beautiful and talented. Subversion's bastards have overpowered too much, luckily I can stop this conspiracy. But I'm afraid it's not over yet.